wanted to have a wall to enclose the graves. You gotta be kidding me. Julie Dinsmore, she was the middle child, James and Martha Dinsmore. And at the age of 31, at the age of 39, she inherited the 400-acre farm from her father, and also raising her two nieces, Patty and Sally. A published poet, she kept a journal detailing almost every day of the 54 years that she managed the farm, a priceless Boone County artifact. Julie made the farm a sanctuary from the outside world, and her family and friends visit often. And here she is. Julie S. Dinsmore, born March 6, 1833, passed away April 19, 1926. Now this is Isabella Dinsmore, and the eldest daughter of James and Martha. Isabella was the only child to marry. She wed her first cousin Charles Flandra and Charles Parler in 1859. And the two moved to Minnesota, where Charles was a respected lawyer. Both of her daughters were born on the farm. Isabella died after the birth of her second child. Now, this is Martha McComb. Now, Martha was the 15th child of Alexander and Jane Rucker McComb. She was born in New York and married James Dinsmore in May of 1829. 3 of her children survived infancy, and she instilled in them the respect of education. Susan Bell. Susan, the youngest child of James and Martha. Susan died at the age of 15 in a boating accident on Lake Erie, and with her cousin Mary Ann Goodrich. There's Mary Goodrich right here. I think it. No, that's Mary Gordon Goodrich. Okay, Goodrich is somebody else. I think she's. Oh, let's look over here. I'm gonna say Mary, but I don't think it's her. Catherine Goodrich. Maybe that's a relative of hers. Right. That could be Mary right there. Mary. Alright. Here's James Dinsmore's grave. He was born in New Hampshire. James moved to Mississippi and then Louisiana, becoming wealthy through sugar cane, cotton, and slavery. Yeah, the dreaded word we all don't like in this time and place. Perhaps tiring of the uncertainty of those markets, he moved to Boone County and became a diversified, scientific farmer. This is Mary Gordon Dinsmore. 1806, Mary, a native of New Hampshire, married Silas Dinsmore and moved south with him. Although she gave birth to 7 children, only 2 of them lived till adulthood. And this is sacred in memory of Silas Dinsmore. This is her husband. Alright, Silas, like his nephew James, was born in New Hampshire and was a graduate of Dinsmore College. Appointed U.S. agent to the Cherokee and Choctaw, Silas spent most of his life in the South. When the age of 65, he settled on Bellevue Bottoms and encouraged his nephew James to buy nearby land. Here's Mary. This must be Mary Gordon Dinsmore, her cousin. Molly, some people call it Molly. Little Molly, the firstborn Thomas Dinsmore and his wife Eugenia Wadsworth Dinsmore, a farmer tutor of James' daughters, died before her 2nd birthday. According to family history, the little girl was running through James's dining room hall, fell, and hit her head on the andirons of the fireplace, dying soon after. Catherine Goodrich, that'll be her right here. While visiting the Dinsmore family for Christmas, Catherine took ill and died. Since her body was not returned to New York to be buried, she may have already contagious disease like cholera. Although her brother B.F. Goodrich, that name sounds familiar, right, visited Dinsmore from several times. It was Catherine's cousin Julie who eventually purchased her headstone. So Julie bought this for her. Floundry Cutchin. Not to try to cuss. Even though they've been gone a long time, I don't want to still disrespect them. This is Sarah Floundra Cutchin, or they call her Sally. Sally, the younger daughter of Isabella and Charles Floundra, was born on the Dinsmore farm in Boone County. Raised by her aunt Julie Dinsmore, Sally attended Miss Porter's school in Connecticut and in 1891 married Frank Cutchin. The couple had homes in Santa Barbara and Long Island and then inherited Aunt Julie's farm in 1926. Show the oldest. Alright, here's Martha Flandry Sims. They called her Patty. The eldest daughter of Charles and Isabella Flandry. Patty was born in Dinsmore Farm. After her mother's death in 1867, she came to Boone County to live with her grandpa and Aunt Julie. She attended Miss Norse's school in Cincinnati, where her interest in writing and drawing were encouraged. At the age of 21, Patty married Tilden Sims, and the couple had one child, Isabella. After Tilden's early death, Patty ran a ham business on the farm. Her intelligence and wit attracted men like Teddy Roosevelt and Gussie Barber. Wow. Well, there's Robert Ferguson and Francis Ham Ferguson. So they're both here. Bobby was the son of Robert and Isabel Ferguson. He had a rough and tumble childhood in the mountains of New Mexico, but went on to graduate from Yale with a law degree. In 1933, he married Frances Hand, the daughter of Judge Learned Hand of the New York Supreme Court. The couple had 3 children. This is John Campbell, Greenway. John was born in Huntsville, Alabama, and graduated from Yale University with an engineering degree. Rising to the upper echelons of the mining industry, Greenway was also a Rough Rider and was brigadier general in 1923. He married Isabel Ferguson. His death came 3 years later after gallbladder operation. Oh, here's John Sims Greenway. John Sims Greenway, less than 2 years old when his father died. Jack was very close to his mother, like his father and grandfather. He attended Yale but quit in 1943 to take part in World War II. Later, he graduated from the University of Arizona with a law degree. Jack never married and lived out his life in Tucson, Arizona, so he's not buried here. But yet, oh yeah, John Sims, that must be his dad. There's a lot of empty graves here, unmarked. I don't know. This one, Macomb Rested, I think that's his name, but he's not on here. So this is a young tombstone. It's only 5 or 6 years old. So he was the last one buried here. So I guess now, since he's the last one, nobody else can be buried here anymore. So this cemetery is off limits now. Considered a landmark. Oh, here's one, Julie Fairley Loving. Here we go. Born in Virginia, Julia was living in St. Paul when she agreed to accompany Patty Sims to the Dakota Territory to keep house. Julie helped to raise Isabella and then followed her to New York City and raised her children. Martha and Bobby Ferguson, over 6 feet tall and fluent in French, she retired in California. When Martha Ferguson died, she requested to be cremated and have her ashes placed in Julie Farley Loving's grave. So her ashes got settled here. Alright, I'm going to read a little bit about Martha. I don't think she's buried here, but Martha Ferguson Breasted, that's her last name. Martha was born in New York, but grew up in the mountains of western New Mexico. A very sociable and well-traveled young lady, she married a journalist, Charles Breasted, when she was 26. The couple had 4 children. It was Martha who chose to turn the Dinsmore farm into a museum. So she's the one that's responsible for all this. The Dinsmore homestead and then the nature trail and the cemetery. Koa was born in Africa and sold into slavery as a boy. Owned by the miner family in Natchez, he worked on the Dinsmore's Louisiana plantation. He's probably here somewhere. James purchased him and brought him to Kentucky. He requested to be buried in a shroud. So he's probably here somewhere in one of these graves. Let's see what, and you can tell. Slave. No name, that's not, well, that's a different time. I mean, today I would, yeah, you can't change the past. We can just learn from it. That's Franklin Warner M. Cutchin. Right. Born in Dexter, Michigan, Frank was a young lawyer in Charles Flanders' law firm when he met and married Sally Flanders. The couple never had children, but took a deep interest in their niece, Isabella Sims. Frank became a very successful corporate lawyer in New York City. Tilden Russell Sims. Tilden Russell Sims was born in Hannibal, Missouri, to Tilden and Sarah Benton Sims. A graduate of Yale, he moved to St. Paul to practice law. It was there that he met and married Patty Flanders. The couple moved to Tilden's ranch near Mandan, Dakota Territory, where they befriended Teddy Roosevelt. Tilden was diagnosed with stomach cancer at the age of 41 and died at the Dinsmore farm. Well, here's Robert H. Monroe Ferguson. He was born and raised in Scotland. Robert came to America as a young adult and befriended the Roosevelt and Sims family and became a member of the Rough Riders. In 1908, 3 years after his marriage to the 19-year-old Isabella, Robert was diagnosed with tuberculosis. He moved his family to New Mexico and outlived the doctor's prediction. Wow. Like her mother before her, Isabella was born on a Dinsmore farm. Although educated at St. Paul and New York, she often returned to Boone County to spend her summers. At the age of 19, Isabella was married to Robert H.M. Ferguson. They had 2 children. 1 year after Robert died, Isabella married his friend John Greenway, and the couple had 1 son. After Greenway's death, his widow opened the Arizona Inn and became the state's first congresswoman. She later married Harry King, who outlived her. So she got the last name King. Let's go this way. Well, there's Heather. Nancy McCruger. Nancy was born a slave. She belonged to the miner family in Natchez when James Dinsmore purchased her in the 1820s. Brought to Kentucky with the family, she ran away in September 1865, but returned in 1878 when she could no longer make a living for herself. She remained on the farm with Julia until her death. And Jilson Hawkins, Elijah Hawkins, 1819 to 1904, and 2 children or grandchildren, Elijah and Mary. Like Nancy, Jilson was purchased from her miner family, but Elijah was bought from a Virginian. The couple remained in Louisiana when James moved to Kentucky, but later followed him there. After the Civil War, they remained on the farm as tenants, later moving to Rice, Indiana, with money James left them in his will. Oh, very interesting. Oh. Thanks for joining me on this Rest in Peace latest video. Now, this is a museum type of place. It's a farm. There's a hiking trail. There's the Dinsmore house down here. You can probably see me walk past it. Up on the hill, it's a cemetery. Now, I've been here before. This is my 2nd time. And I didn't know I could walk through the gate. I jumped the wall. Not supposed to, but I did. Anyway, before I go, I just want to wish all the Dinsmores, the Fergusons, the Cutchins, the Greenbills, rest in peace. And I'll see you on the next cemetery video. Right now, take care of yourself, take care of your loved ones. Bye.